Good day. Today is December 2nd, 2024. This is my belief after investigating, fact-finding, and putting the pieces together since 2012. After the smear campaign, the terrorism from the father of our four offspring, my brother, my family, neighbors, judges, lawyers, therapists, government agencies, I realized that there is no resolution in the de facto lower courts due to the all-capital letter fraud and the grammatical deception. I provided enough evidence to show the abuse and fraud, all to be ignored and triaged by the judge. Until this day, 2024, they are still using multi-agencies to target me. I was deprived of life, liberty, property, and property interest. Is this truly our judicial system? Who is running this world? Investigate the three-letter agencies. The WHO, WEF, IMF, CIA, FBI, IRS, DHS, DOD, DOE, DEA, NSA, and the list goes on. All the proof is in their fraudulent paperwork provided by the other parent and his lawyer, Cheryl Rentz. Lawyer means liar. The pinwheel operation is run by the secret societies, the mob, the Illuminati, the cabal, the Freemasons. Their fraudulent falsified paperwork is docketed number 2012-11558 in the Montgomery County, Pennsylvania courthouse to witness for yourself. In further conclusion, I realized everything I was taught from birth through schooling, working experience is all a lie. We all were indoctrinated to be subservient to their agenda. Our language, the English language, is witchcraft. Our history is all a lie. And our fictitious government is run by psychopaths, pedophiles, narcissists, and criminals. I made these slides to bullet point all the facts that I have found in my relationships with these bad actors. My hopes are that others in similar situations can gain knowledge or nuggets from these slides. I am not a lawyer or would ever sell my soul to the bar members. This is a violent hate crime against one individual. And they use authority to aid and abet to destroy that loving parent. So I hope you enjoy this. I started my investigation on Marguerite Thomas Sweeney. She is my mother-in-law, my ex-spouse's mom. She was a lawyer, but she said she never practiced. She liked calling herself the matriarch. After doing a little bit of due diligence, I believe she is an Eastern Star for the Freemason cult. She controls her sons, Matthew and Tom Sweeney. I believe Tom Sweeney is a 33rd degree Mason, and he controls my brother, my brother-in-law, the courts, judges, lawyers, therapists, doctors, friends, family, neighbors, offsprings, and corporations. William Todd Gerstemeier, my brother, is a master manipulator. He has narcissistic personality disorder. He abuses his wives physically, emotionally. He's connected to the therapists and doctors to falsely diagnose, medically murder, do smear campaigns against his sister. Todd is the only child who has the knowledge of our parents' finances. John Roberts, brother-in-law, my sister's husband, alcoholic, physically abuses his wife and alienates the children from her, moves offspring over state lines and moves in with another woman. The courts, judges, lawyers, therapists, doctors, friends, family, neighbors, offspring, and corporation, my ex used the authority, so his hands are clean. And it's never his fault. But he uses authority to bully, harass, alienate, threaten, false diagnose, medical murder, false accusations, smear campaign against his wife, and he has a Ponzi scheme. This is Tom's mother, Marguerite Thomas Sweeney. She called herself the matriarch. Marguerite hated her mother and encouraged my offspring to hate their mother. I was thrown out of my home, and the matriarch replaced me. Marguerite hid her sons' money and assets from their wives in offshore bank accounts. I lost track after 30 bank accounts. Marguerite's life is a secret. We know nothing about her side of the family. Why is that? Who are her parents? What are their names? What is the big secret? Freemasonry, Eastern Star, black magic, witchcraft, SRA, which is satanic ritual abuse. The matriarch ritually abused our offspring, and I could give examples of that. Owen Earnshaw and Marguerite, in this picture, they were partners for 25 years. He was married, but Tom and our offspring accepted their grandmother's affair of 25 years, but I was judged and crucified. He owned Earnshaw Pharmaceuticals throughout New England, and his son works for my ex. I highly recommend that people do research on their partner's past, their upbringing, how their mother and father were brought up, and just go down the family tree. What I found out was my mother-in-law was alienated from her mother, and she definitely has an emotionally incestual relationship with her son, my ex-spouse, Thomas Sweeney. Then it just passes on through generations. Tom alienated his 4 offsprings from their birth mother, and Tom has an emotional incestuous enmeshment with our 4 offspring. Our 4 offspring were taught to hate, fear, and reject the targeted parent, which is me, the mother, as someone unworthy of having a relationship with them. Now, I put this quote up here from the APA. Emotional incest is a form of emotional abuse. It happens when a parent or a caregiver uses the child for emotional needs that they should be obtaining from their adult romantic partner. This violates the boundaries between a parent and a child. They call this covert incest or enmeshment. In an emotionally incestuous relationship, the parent or caregiver depends on the child as an emotional security blanket. It means that the child has to put the wants and desires of the parent first to receive the parent's approval. In some cases, the adult treats the child as if they are a love life partner. However, what makes emotional incest distinct from other types is that there is no sexual contact. Emotional incest differs from a typical close relationship between a parent or a caregiver and a child. In cases of emotional incest, the closeness results from the adult putting themselves first and in the process harming the child's well-being. The big joke in the Sweeney family was when we got together with his blood brother Matthew and his wife and their children, that it always looked like Tom and his mother were on a date. They would walk down the beach and have conversations in secret. They would go swimming in the ocean together. I mean, he didn't do this with me, but he did this with his mother. He would take his mother out to eat at Spain's restaurant. It's a special restaurant where they had business meetings. That's what they used to say, but I was not allowed to be included. So these are just some signs. Tom Sweeney controls his minions with money, cars, bribes, entities. He will get college students and start them with businesses in the roofing industry, or he threatens and demands to get what he wants. These 3 men, their common denominator is addictions, narcissism, control, power, ego. All 3 of them cut their mothers out of the children's lives. They alienated the children from the mothers. These are just some threats and ultimatums from Thomas Sweeney in the very beginning, right after I asked for divorce. I'll read a few of them to you. You think your life is a mess now? Grab your dirty martini, enjoy the show. By the time you see the kids again, that will be the last time they will ever want to see you. They will be far better too. You really blew it this time. I could lose every cent of the business. I don't care. I will still be rich. I am rich and a hero in the eyes of our children. You are now going to pay with everything. You're a damn fool. You have my ultimatum. Call off your scum lawyer by 3 p.m. or I burn what is left of you as a mother to the ground. That is final. Get ready for hell, because I'm sending you there. You will have nothing to do with our kids, and I won't have to say a word. You are going to pay. My response was, I don't want this. I want you and I to figure out this ourselves. And his response was, you lose everything. No class. So I created a binder. It was 795 pages. My lawyer, Albert Earl, at the time, I handed it to him, and he would not put it into the docket. So I marched it over to the Prothonotari's office, and I did it myself. And I made extra copies, have it stamped, and then when I went to a hearing, Judge Danielle literally was laughing at me saying, do you think I'm going to read this? Do you think I have time to go through this? So it just shows that they don't care about the abuse. They don't care about anything. He could be a murderer, and they still will hand your children over to the abuser because they're all part of the Freemason cult. This slide here, you may want to stop and blow it up. This literally gave me validation that my children were going through parental alienation. Just some keywords here. My kids used to say, forced to be with the targeted parent. The child should be allowed to decide which parent they want to be with. The therapist would say, listen to the child. They would put the child above the adult. The child is already controlled and manipulated by that narcissistic parent. So why would anyone listen to what the children have to say? Another example is the narcissistic parent will have the children testify against that other parent. And they do really good examples in this slide of an unforgivable event. That's what our offspring used to say all the time is, they would demand an apology from me. And then also read about the hierarchy. It's inverted hierarchy, meaning the triangle is backwards. It's triangulation. And basically that narcissistic parent is aligned with the children, and the targeted parent is demeaned, demoralized, and at the bottom of that triangle. This is an event I will never forget. It is my son's confirmation. I'm sure you guys can agree. I mean, the knots in your stomach of sitting somewhere separated from your own family was devastating to me because, that's not me. That's not my personality. Anyway, I sat alone while Tom Sweeney comes in late with his posse. The neighbors protected him from me because I was this big bad person. Meanwhile, I'm 125 pounds to his 250 pounds. There's a picture here of my brother laughing and manipulating my son, who is sitting across the room from me. Tom played the victim very well. He did the divide and conquer. Who in their right mind does this to their family, making our offspring and everyone around us fear him? I'm going to pretty much let you guys read this slide with all the bullet points. But the four characters here, Marguerite, Tom, John, and Todd, they all have a common denominator, and that is that they hate women. Tom, Marguerite, and John, those three were into the party scene, the alcohol, the gambling, the drug abuse, the porn, the sex addictions. But go ahead and read all the bullet points. You can stop the video anytime. This is my brother-in-law, John Roberts, who is married to my sister, Coletta. On the top right-hand corner, I circled in blue, John giving me the finger when I'm taking a picture of him and my son. Now, this is the disrespect that went on in my house, and it's a learned behavior. So this is why my kids were, taught to disrespect me. My sister wrote a 105-page affidavit. She sent it to the Upper Merion Police Department, and they did nothing to protect my sister. We have recorded 911 calls, audios of John threatening to kill my sister and scattering her body across my parents' lawn. My sister lived in fear. I mean, look at the difference in the bottom pictures here. On the left-hand side, my sister is beautiful before the abuse, and on the right-hand side, she is traumatized after the abuse. I also believe she was MK Ultra'd. The other pictures in the middle are of John coming home after a bar and destroying the house. He knocked over the china closet, all the china, broke, and everything that my sister appreciated, he destroyed. And then there's a letter here of my sister explaining what happened. These are just some police reports. John Roberts, drunk and disorderly, hitting my sister and then my father. I was not a witness to this. I drove from Avalon, New Jersey, to my home in Royersford, which was about 2.5 hours away, to stop John from driving drunk with his girls in the car. So they turned this on you. I ended up becoming the buzzkill, the bitch, because I saved those girls from getting behind the wheel of a man who was completely intoxicated. Both incidents, John threatened to kill my sister, and nobody helped. Tom was the instigator in all of this. This is my brother, William Todd Gerstemeier. His first victim was his wife, Susan Connor Gerstemeier. He forced her into a mental home with electric shock treatment to get custody of their daughter and to wipe her memories out of the abuse from my brother. This is a picture of their daughter, Lorelei. She's a beautiful adult now. Second victim was Nancy Lucas. He tried doing the same thing, same tactics, calling her crazy, trying to get her in a mental home, but she fought back, and she had a support group. And her town came together and supported her. But she told me, Tamara, I fought cancer, and that was easier than dealing with your brother for 6 months. So that just shows the abuse that is behind closed doors that no one knows about. The third victim is his partner now, and she has a handicapped child. They're still together. This woman supports him because she believes how kind he is by, supporting her handicapped child, which in reality, she has no idea that she was picked out and chosen because, number one, they're both breadwinners. They own their own homes. My brother moves in, and my brother takes advantage of profiteering from the handicapped son. She has no idea how he's collecting money behind the scenes. Then myself and my sister were victims to my brother. He helped in the alienation of our children. My mother and my father were victims of my brother. He falsely diagnosed my parents and basically to lessen their life and get into their wills, inheritances, pensions, insurances. So this was all premeditated, and they are trying to turn this around on me, that I am the criminal, when it's these three men. And they also use authority, the courts, to help them in their abuse. When I was handed this domestic violence wheel at the Domestic Violence Center in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, I started shaking. My heart was racing. I started crying because I just realized that I myself was being abused by my spouse, my offspring, my family, my friends, authorities, my community, my neighbors, my entire surroundings. This chart literally saved my life in the sense that I finally woke up to the gaslighting, the narcissism, the vile and unsafe environment that I was in. I didn't realize until years later that I married into the mob, the cabal, the Illuminati, the Freemason cult. Tom had his agents spying on me. They came in all different uniforms: judges, lawyers, therapists, police, sheriffs, IRS agents, private investigators, FBI, priests, and more. Anyone who holds a license, especially a bar license, their allegiance is with the crown and not you. So they do not have your best interest. Do not hire a lawyer. That is my personal advice and my personal experience. Albert Earl, he's been on my case since 2013. Even though he withdrew years ago, he is still extorting me. He is still double dipping into the CQV Trust. Um, I'll leave it at that. Charles Campbell's just his whipping boy. Suzanne Niemeyer is in cohorts with these lawyers. Suzanne acts like she's a good friend of my sister's. They've known each other since high school, and she's stabbing her in the back. They have my sister doing depositions without my knowledge, having her sign documents without my knowledge, and, drugging up my sister so bad that she has no clarity. Suzanne's in control of my sister's money, over $40,000, and wouldn't pay property taxes. Not that I believe in taxes, that's all a fraud, but I've been double paying taxes, and they're trying to hold me liable for them not paying taxes. Also, Suzanne, she looks like a sweet woman here, broke into my attic and stole my personal items. I have a witness to that. This agent, Charlene Angel Astro, she's a squatter being paid $4,000 a month to live for free in my deceased parents' home. Her goal is to gaslight and poison my sister. Coletta has a doctor that's involved in this, which I'm sure my brother put on her. And this doctor's unknown to me. She apparently was diagnosed with Huntington's disease in 2016 while my mother was still alive, and she didn't tell anyone. I smell a big fat rat. Take a close look at Charlene Angel Astro bringing her sons into our property and getting stoned with him. I am not judging here, but how is Charlene capable of being responsible if she is high on drugs and has no clarity? My sister is in danger. Her life is in danger. The sheriff, the police department won't do anything. They actually refuse to do a well visit on my sister. I also tried evicting Charlene, but she won't leave. I have facts and witnesses to everything that I claim. Also, she is involved with the New Jersey Family Forward Project, so be very careful with these fake imposters. She leaves my sister unattended and goes out to the bars, restaurants, day and night for long periods at a time. Point being, this is what they do. They diagnose my sister to put guardianship over her. They have agents move into the home and administer drugs to her so she has no clarity. They destroy the home, collect insurance money, and get paid to live there for free. They tap into my sister's CQV Trust. The other parent conspired and used authority in hopes to bully the mother to death. This is a common tactic that they do to men and women They will put false charges on you. They try to put you in a mental home, claim that you're mentally ill. If that doesn't work, they'll push you so far that they're praying that you will commit suicide. And then they can just label you while you're dead and say, they were crazy. But all these judges are dishonorable. They're just administrators. If you know how the court operates, it's just a bank. They're trying to administer your trust. Um, these judges should be held accountable. One thing you want to do, they never have jurisdiction over you, so ask for jurisdiction, ask them to prove it, ask them for their oath of office. They'll deny it, never give it to you. If they're doing something in honor, then why are they hiding their oath of office? Sean Kilkenny, he's the sheriff in Montgomery County. He just goes around putting sheriff sales up and stealing your house. He's a big culprit in this. They're all connected. And of course, the dishonorable lawyers. Cheryl Rentz was the other parent's lawyer. Her husband was an IRS agent for 15 years, so there's a connection there. Judge Carolyn Tornetta Carluccio, her family owns a real estate company called Tornetta Real Estate, and she also used to own the actual courthouse. I mean, look at this. Look at the pinwheel here. Andrew Laird, Albert Earl, Robert Birch. I had so many lawyers I couldn't fit him in here. The therapist, this guy, Dr. Chase Nealon, he's got to go to jail. He actually told me to forget about my kids and move on with my life. Dr. Jane Iannizelli, she's the one that's crazy. She should be behind, padded walls. Then there was a psychic, Elizabeth Edith, out of Stone Harbor, New Jersey, that my husband paid $200,000 for her daughter's surgery in cash. But she was there to gaslight our family. And then, of course, the Upper Marion Police Department, Upper Providence Police Department, Stone Harbor Police Department, and Manatee, Florida Police Department all are involved in this Freemason cult, secret society pinwheel. At this point of the video, I'm just going to let you guys read the rest of the slides. Take your time. This last slide is just a list of all the conspirators, the bad actors, the list of docket numbers. I can't even keep track of how many docket numbers they have on me, and liens. The whole reason the other parent married me was I hold all the liability, I believe, in his companies. So I'm holding all his debts. And either that or they just, provided all this false information into the court system. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the slides, and thank you for listening. Please share. Please get this video out there. That hopefully this will help other people. And I'm praying my kids get to this so that they can actually piece this together themselves, because they are aligned with the abuser and they don't even realize it. And we're wasting time that we're not together. Amen.